Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. Welcome to Owlet Miners Action today, featuring the Ryusian Uprising and Happy Squids. I apologize. Just right now, I've noticed there's a typo on our match card. Fortunately, can't do anything about that right now, folks. My name is Piper. Here with me in the caster's booth today, I have Build. Build, say hello to everybody.
Hello, my name is Build. I have no idea what's happening. I have never seen both of either of these teams play, but I'm getting some good experience, and I'm going to do my best for you beautiful people.
Well, we are going to have a very good matchup here in store for you between Ryusian Uprising and Happy Squids. As I said earlier, Happy Squids, a team I got to cast in the Owlet preseason, and we saw a pretty good showing come out from them. So I'm really excited to see them here and I'm excited to see them play here today. The first map that we are going to be seeing today is going to be Ilios. Now, Build, what do you expect to see here on Ilios?
I mean, it's Ilios. I always love to see a Lucio. That's just what I like to do on Ilios. But right now, the meta seems to be revolving around Sigma, Orisa, and then Doomfist Reaper, and Lucio, Moira. That seems to be pretty common. Now, people are sort of picking random heroes right now. The game actually hasn't started. So now we should see the comp start to come in. But I'm expecting Sigma, I'm expecting Lucio, and I'm expecting Doomfist.
Yeah, I think those are pretty safe bets for what we're going to see here. Now, we're going to have to see here. We're going to get our first sneak peek coming up in about 20 seconds here. Hopefully, we're going to get a good matchup out of this. Perhaps some players that we can watch from last season that I know were really good. Nano Rocket over on the side of Uprising, or Happy Squids, sorry. And we're actually going to have a pause coming in here.
Oh well. Things happen.
Yep, they do.
And you can't really do much about it. So, Piper, how was your day today?
It was actually incredibly good. Thank you very much, Bill. I went to work, I came home, took a break, and now I'm here.
Excellent. Sounds like a wonderful day. I was just reflecting on my recent computer purchases, and I'm expecting some new components in the mail, so I'm rather excited about that.
That is always an exciting time for everybody. And it looks like the teams are going to be getting ready to go right here. We're going to get back into this here. Hopefully get to see some action going on once the readies come out. But it looks like the readies are coming out from both teams. Hopefully we're going to get right back into it here.
Again, I've never seen either of these teams play. But it looks like we're going straight into it. All right, we get to see some play. We get to see the comps in about 5 seconds here. Let's see what we've got on our hands. And it looks fairly standard. We've got a Mei on one side.
Yeah, now what do you think? I'm looking over at the side of Happy Squids over in the red, and I've noticed they have Psydev on the McCree. Now, we saw Psydev play the McCree a bit in Miners, but how do you think that that's going to translate into these compositions here?
Thing is, with McCree, he is not very mobile, very susceptible to CCs, but he also has the CC himself. So, given that Ryu, or however you say that team's name,
Uprising.
They don't have Uprising, sure. Given that they don't have any dive DPS characters, the McCree might actually work quite well.
And now we're going to see Rose Gold already going quite low. The King going in for an engagement there. Not going to be able to get much done there as Smiley Bob is going to come in with 2 big picks. Those are absolutely massive. He's going to come in with a 3rd and a 4th. Smiley Bob here is cleaning up on this Reaper. He's going to get the 5th. And the only reason he doesn't get that 6K is Jonathan is going to be afraid for his life running away on that Lucio. My lord, what a performance there.
Starting off pretty big, just pops up in the middle of the back of the enemy and just sort of left clicks them. Hey, I'm here. You can't stop me.
Now, this far swap from the King, what do you think that that's going to do here for Happy Squids?
The only long-range damage they have is the Mei, so it's going to be a bit of an issue, but they seem to be making massive progress with it.
Yeah, we're going to see 2 quick kills going the way of Happy Squids. The King raining in that death from above. It's going to be tough here for Uprising to be able to stabilize without a tank and a healer. And at this point, they're pretty much giving up the point. We're going to see those members go low. A really good team effort there coming in from Happy Squids to take that point.
The Pharah just seemed a bit too much pressure for them to handle, and they just They couldn't hold it together, and it's not a whole lot Reaper can do against Zafara, and Reaper was their main source of damage in the previous fight. That's what got them the win. Let's see what they can do this time.
Yeah, I think Brule is really going to have to look to hit some of those right clicks with the Mei if anybody's going to be able to put any pressure on the King, but the King is going to go down already. Yui finding that kill with the assistance of the Moira. Sandpiper piping in for another kill themselves. This is all going the way of Uprising right now. Speak to Ryan though on the Moira, trying to equalize, but Smiley Bob is coming in with a big kill there on that Reaper. Nano Rocket though gonna equalize on the tanks there, but Smiley Bob, he has this Death Blossom, and here it comes. It's gonna get one. Oh, but Bliatman is gonna be able to eat that up really quickly, but Rose Gold Rain is going to come back in here on the Moira, but the King is back with that barrage. Going to be looking to go big here for their team. Going to find one under Rose Gold, looking for the other support here in Jonathan. This fight is absolutely chaotic. Both sides have their reinforcements coming in. The King, though, trying to make the difference here, is going to find the Sigma of Yui, and it looks like Uprising are going to have to fall back off that. What a chaotic fight.
Uprising managed to make some headway at the very beginning because they managed to take out the Pharah, but then the fight lasted so long, the Pharah managed to come back and they just couldn't deal with it the second time. And now, the Squids have like so many ultimates coming up, 6 ultimates in fact, but Uprising has enough to hopefully deal with it.
Yeah, and we're gonna see a lot of those ultimates coming out to begin with here. Holy moly, Flatman is gonna find a kill there. Brule gonna get killed. Actually, the Blizzard does get out, but they're not gonna be able to find anything for it. And there's gonna be a bit of a brawl here on point. Smiley Bob looking to get some kills. He's gonna get 2 big ones, but the King is going to get a big barrage and clean up that 3rd kill. Huge work coming in from him. And that's gonna be the first point going the way of Happy Squids.
You know what I always say? If it doesn't work, just get 5 ults and use them all at once. Is that what I say?
I have never heard you say that, in fact, but
well, it's my new saying. All right.
I'll let you have that.
All right. Sounds good to me. Let's see if there's any change-ups happening. Uprising seems to be getting an Ashe. Now on this point, I sort of am dubious of the Ashe pick.
Yeah,
Ashe has damage fall off, and the range on this map is incredibly long.
I'm surprised that it's not a Widow. Widow to me would seem to be the stronger pick. Wouldn't you agree?
I would definitely agree. Like the Widow has no damage fall off, whereas Ashe does more damage over long range. Ashe does have better movement and more close range abilities, but against a Pharah or against anything long range, Widow makes it seem to be the choice, but we'll see.
Yeah, and we're going to see if that's going to put any more pressure on the King as this fight gets underway here. The King, though, is going to come out on top despite the pressure on him from Brule. Going to find that opening kill onto Smiley Bob and going to be looking for more onto the back line here of Ryujin Uprising. Going to find a big kill there. That's absolutely massive for his side. And it looks like Happy Squids are going to take this first tick here. A little bit of a consolation prize there for Brule finding Speak to Ryan. But first point, first cap going firmly the way of Happy Squids.
Uprising is falling to this pressure from the Pharah a lot. They were unable to take her out, and the pressure on them in the left side corner was just so much they couldn't even leave. Takes out the Pharah this time. Let's see what they can do with that.
Yeah, that's going to be a big pick there coming in from Brule. The res not coming out just yet. Speak to Ryan, though, is going to find a big kill there. Sidev looking to get something done here on the Reaper as well. Pushing forward, trying to find some kills with that. We're going to see some Yui actually finding Sidev there. That's going to be a big kill as the King tries to come back in from spawn. Happy Squid's content to just kind of push back to their point here. Let this fight, and here comes the barrage from the King. It's going to be huge, getting 2 before Smiley Bob's going to get that kill there, taking them out, and it's only going to be Smiley Bob really left there as the King comes in with a huge 3K with the kill and the barrage. Happy Squids are going to hang on.
The King got ultimate from that first fight that went absolutely in the Squid's favor, and then slowly flew over the entire battlefield with ult silently, got above everyone, and used ult. An excellent play from the King. Got them that win easily without committing too many ultimates. Let's see what they can do here. They do have the ultimate economy on their side still, and they only need to win one more fight to take this whole map.
Yeah, big pick there coming in from Brule. That's going to be absolutely massive. Allow their team to get in there. But the res coming out from Jonathan, I have to say that is, you know, quite expected. Not shocked to see that at all. Side here, he's going to look to get cheeky here with the Death Blossom, but he's going to be getting pressured from DPS on both sides. Blackman, though, is going to find Yui. That's a huge pick. And actually, we're going to see Sandpiper going for the back cap here on the Lucio, but he's going to get absolutely ganked. Bob coming in here looking to do something. It doesn't look like Bob's going to be able to do a whole lot where they currently are. Flatman and Sidev are going to go big, getting 2 kills here. And it looks like Happy Squids are going to be taking our first point here.
Happy Squids putting up the pressure, relentless pressure. Uprising had a hard time pushing through that. I think what they really needed to do was to focus more as a group, take out one target. Everyone needs to be in one cohesive unit. The fire boops, just the pressure came out so much they couldn't really deal with it. This at the very beginning was Smiley Bob just absolutely carrying. Teleports behind them, teleports behind you, nothing personal, kid. That's essentially what happened there.
Yeah, absolutely huge from Smiley Bob there, but unfortunately not enough, as Uprising are going to be seen off by the threat of the Happy Squid. We're going to take a quick break here before we get into our second map, and we will be right back, folks. I need to take a quick break there.
It's okay. I'm not used to this. I'm trying. It's a completely different style of observing.
What, me?
No. Like, just trying observation and what's happening in real time.
Yeah, it's difficult. I'm having trouble with my observation. It's scuffed. But we'll get there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Owlet tournament. We're here in the Owlet Minors division for the exciting matchup between the Ryusian Uprising and Happy Squids. We just saw our first map, Ilios, go the way of Happy Squids, and we're going to be looking for the bounce back here from Ryusian Uprising on our next map of Hanamura. Now, Hanamura build, what do you think we are going to see on Hanamura?
In this meta, I think we're going to see a lot of barriers, although we might see a couple more long-range heroes on the defense versus the offense. But other than that, it's gonna probably be mostly meta. Now, I'm very curious to see what kind of comps people are gonna come out with. First point is always a bit of an odd one. You can be a little bit experimental first point. There's a lot of things you can do. You can teleport across. You can go through these windows. You can just speed through the choke, or you can slow push with double shield. There's so many options. But given the meta and the strength of the current heroes, double shield, slow push is probably the route that both teams are going to take, but only time will tell.
Now, we've actually seen a lot of Symmetra here in the Owlet tournament. What do you think of that pick? Do you think that Symmetra is a good pick here, both for offense and defense? Or do you think that there are other DPS combinations that can get more value?
I believe on offense, Symmetra is a very, very good pick because recently her maximum teleporter distance was buffed to 30 meters from 25 meters. So now you can teleport from choke all the way onto point and then immediately turn around, throw an immortality field down if you have a Baptiste. There's so many more options. Before, you had to walk a little bit through the choke, then throw it down. It was rather difficult. Before, you could teleport maybe right side, maybe left side, but now teleporting to point has never been easier. You can even teleport just a hair of the right side of point, and the teleporter will be obscured from enemies that are sitting on point. There's so many ways to get to the point safely and quickly, and I think the king can pull it off. If the king does the same thing as well as last time, we're in for a show.
Yeah, now we're gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see how this Rein Sigma combination is gonna work out. To me, those are tanks that don't really synergize that well together, but we're just gonna see the classic I'm gonna teleport to point, screw you strat. We're gonna see how this works out. Almost a single tick going to, and they are gonna actually get the tick. That's gonna be absolutely huge. Nano Rocket going low here, getting frozen up. Trades going both ways, but Psydev coming in with 2 big kills before Smiley Bob is going to equalize. Smiley Bob here is now on the hunt, looking for more. Locked on to Nano Rocket, looking for that kill. Nano Rocket is stuck hard shielding, trying to escape. It is a hard 4v4 on point, but you gotta think this is gonna start going the way of Happy Squids very soon because their reinforcements are gonna get there a whole lot sooner, and it's looking like that is what's starting to happen right now. Oh, Nano Rocket getting that huge charge, and the kills finally going the way of Happy Squids, and that is going to be a first point take here for the Squids.
Now, the Squids had a bit of a hard time pushing in. They lost a couple players on their way forward, but they managed to pull it out. Reinhardt got a little bit caught out, and when you've got the Mei Reaper combination, damage floods in really quick.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you gotta look out for. Smiley Bob is gonna go big though, getting 1 kill, getting 2. Tenacious there chiming in as well. That is gonna be absolutely massive here. Smiley Bob going in big for his team, their team. We have seen time and time again that Smiley Bob is incredibly good with that Reaper, and hopefully we're gonna see more of that because I really do like good Reaper players. It's honestly a joy to behold.
Oh, it's absolutely demolishing, honestly. So Uprising manages to hold only using 2 ults, the Reaper ult and the Moira ult. The Moira ult is fantastic at zoning. The Squids are coming up on most of their ults now, so we'll see if they can use those effectively. We should see some sort of combination here. Sigma can work well with Reaper, with Reinhardt. They can use feet to engage. There's so many options. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting to see here. We're going to see the Squids going right to point. The Gravatic Flux coming in. Nano Rocket with the Shatter as well. Not going to get anything with that. Brûlé here is going to try maybe to use that Blizzard. The Beat coming in. Going to freeze up a whole bunch of the other team. Oh, that is going to be a huge Gravatic Flux coming down. But the kills are all red. The kill feed is all in favor here of the Happy Squids. Brûlé gonna throw out that Blizzard, but I think it's too little, too late. That's gonna be 1 tick here for the Happy Squids. Smiley Bob is gonna stop the second from coming in, but they're gonna be put under a lot of pressure very fast on a sliver of health after that Wraith form. Gonna get taken out by Blatman. Tenacious gonna touch, but here comes the Death Blossom. Actually not gonna find anything. The Beat there from Sandpiper is gonna block out a lot of that damage, but Happy Squids are firmly in control right now. The kills are all going their way. The kill feed is all red with the blood of the Uprising. Just need to clean up here, and they are doing a very good job of cleaning it up. And Tenacious gonna get 1 last touch, get cleaned up very quickly. That was actually a very clean take there from Happy Squids.
I tell you what, a Doomfist, a Reaper, a Moira, and a Reinhardt trying to kill Stallers is the way to go. That combination of heroes makes stalling incredibly difficult. Doomfist can stun him, and everyone else just absolutely owns in close range. The amount of pressure you have to put in as defenders coming in 1 by 1 in order to penetrate that is so difficult. So difficult. The fact that they managed to hold on for so long honestly impresses me.
Yeah, that was definitely a very good hold from them. it was, you know, it was pretty good considering how quick that cap on point A was. But that 3-minute and 39-second time bank, almost a flat 340, is going to be absolutely huge here for Happy Squids going forward. Even if they get capped, I mean, it's going to be a very tough time bank to beat. If you're Ryujin, what are you going to do here to try to, you know, counter Happy Squids? Because I think Happy Squids has shown they've been very good thus far in the tournament.
Well, you need to be fast. And in order to do that, they're going to have to win both of these fights first try. And I think that's going to be a bit of a tall order. But if they pull themselves together, they might be able to do it. Now, they're not actually running a Symmetra on attack here. It looks like they're going for more of a double shield slow push, which is interesting because Symmetra is surprisingly good here. And I'd say most teams would opt to run a Symmetra and just get straight to point. Now, Squids is running a Pharah, and that may put a bit of a wrench in their slow push situation, and we'll see how they deal with it. They might switch to something like a McCree. We'll find out.
Oh, that is dirty. A 3K coming up from side of. He's at 60% ult charge, no less than 5 seconds into the round. That is a dirty, dirty spawn hold that should not be allowed to happen. You gotta have more awareness than that, but my lord, what a joy to behold that little spawn hold was.
Pharah plus Junkrat. Now, even though they are playing double shield, this is still going to be pretty tough. Double shield with a Mercy damage boost, no less, is a ton of damage. And if they aren't behind shields 24/7, they are going to get absolutely bursted down.
Yeah, and it's proving to be difficult here. Nobody's able really to deal with the King. Reaper, not really a big enough threat. They're going to go right to point here. But the tire already coming up from side of, and he's gonna get 2. Huge ultimate coming in from him. The King gonna clean up Tenacious here. And oh, a sick rocket onto Smiley Bob. That is gonna be a hold here for the Happy Squids. Not really going well here for Uprising.
No, Uprising needs to find some sort of way to prevent this spam. Otherwise, they're just gonna keep cycling. Fire out, Junkrat out, fire out, Junkrat out, and they're just gonna get killed every single time they try and walk in. Now, they might be able to get this after they build up enough ults to come in together and use, say, 4 or 5 ults, but that's going to take so much time off the clock that it might not be worth it.
No, it really might not be, and we're going to see the King here already with this barrage, which could be absolutely massive, and we're going to see them drop lower, and they're going to go for it, going to get 1! Not going to be able to find much more with that, but Nano Rocket taking out Tenacious is probably going to spell disaster for your team anyways. The King actually getting a boop there onto Yui, cleaning up a couple more kills, and that's another solid hold here coming in from Happy Squids.
I expect to see Sidev get another tire by the time they get on point. I'm honestly expecting that. This is a lot of pressure, and really the only thing Uprising can do, in my opinion, is to try and build up as many ults as possible. Other than that, they would have to make a drastic comp switch in order to try and counter this much pressure and this much spam.
Yeah, there's really not much here that Ryujin can do. They don't have anybody to deal with these spam threats, and their shields are just going down so fast. Lots of pressure. The King already almost up to another barrage. Sidev gonna open up the killing here onto Smiley Bob. And there's the other barrage. That's gonna be a 3K. Nay, make it almost a 4K. I spoke a little bit too soon there. But the King gonna get that 4K, generating that barrage in one fight and absolutely wrecking the faces of Uprising. Uprising are looking a little lost and confused right now.
It's just an example of how much pressure Pharah can put on, especially a pocketed one. And when you've got 2 high health tanks with big hitboxes that can be shot behind their shield from above, then there's not a whole lot you could do.
That's a big pick, losing your main support before the fight's even started. What are you going to even do about that one, Build?
I don't know. See, I actually don't really think that tire was the best idea. That's only about a 15-second reset for them, versus if you use tire when they're pushing in, that's a 30-45-second reset. So I'm not sure about the value proposition of that.
Oh, that's going to be a big opening pick here. The Blizzard going to come in here from Brule. Not going to catch anybody. The King, though, looking for the second kill. Going to find it. That's the barrage back. Things are all going wrong here for Uprising. They are not able to make any progress on this A point. Sandpiper trying not to get staggered. It's going to happen. The King is all over you. The King is the king of the skies here. Absolutely. Dominating performance on Pharah.
The king is destroying this game, and for Uprising to try and get to the point, it looks like they won't be able to. The king has another ult, because of course. And we actually get a Sigma ult, and from Uprising, it is a Reaper ult!
My lord, I did not see that coming. They're gonna cap the point here.
That's kind of insane, but you know, if their only option really was to commit a bunch of ults, it just took them that long to get the ults to use because the king was pressuring them so hard.
I'm not even gonna lie here. Happy Squid's kind of threw. I mean, the king there kind of threw out that ultimate, you know, thinking that there wasn't gonna be another push. You know, a lot of wasted ultimates like that coming up from Happy Squids, and then all of a sudden, I don't know who it was that was able to touch there, but they get that touch, and then all of a sudden, it's a yoink fest coming in for Ryujin. Absolutely big work there coming in from them.
Although the ultimate economy on both teams is looking a little bit weak, so this might be a neutral fight besides the supercharger here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what they're able to get done there. Smiley Bob gonna get a big opening pick. However, Sidev gonna equalize here, and with that res, Happy Squids are gonna start taking advantage of this fight. Things are starting to go the way of Happy Squids once again. Uprising not able to capitalize on that opening pick by Smiley Bob, unfortunately. And ult economy is gonna start looking in favor once again of Happy Squids.
Again, the king putting a tremendous amount of pressure onto Uprising. Now, when Uprising dropped to point, the king was just able to completely farm them. Uprising, I really think, needs to find some way to deal with this, but they don't seem to be making any swaps.
Oh my god, that is a big pick for no ultimate used.
That's one way to take out the king.
Oh, and they get another one too. Please tell me they don't go for the spawn camp here. Please, no. They're going for it. Smiley Bob better watch out. See you later.
Unfortunate Smiley Bob. It's looking like a reset. Unfortunate. That was such a big pick. The king has been putting on so much pressure. If they didn't have to deal with that pressure when they pushed in, it might mean that they could just push in almost for free. They would only need to really deal with a Junkrat, and that's not too big of a deal when you've got double shields.
Yeah, and the unfortunate... Oh, this is looking dangerous here. The king with the big barrage coming in. Gonna find one, gonna find two. Gonna be able to find three, almost four with the follow-ups. Absolutely massive from the king coming in here. That is gonna be a team-wiping barrage from him. Absolutely massive stuff. There's no answer from Uprising. None at all.
No. Happy Squids commits 4 ults to that defense, which was a lot. But to be fair, Uprising did not really have too much ults, too much in the way of ults themselves. Now we do have a little bit of a pause here.
Yeah, it looks like there was a disconnect here from the Uprising. Rather unfortunate stuff. But can we just take a second to talk about how bullied Uprising have looked at the hands of the king and Sidev with their spam composition here? It looks to me like they're trying to play the meta, but it's just not quite working out for them.
Absolutely. See, there's playing meta initially, which is generally a good starting position, but you need to adapt based on what the enemy team is playing. Now, Happy Squids is not actually running the most meta composition they would see. They have a Mercy, they have a Pharah, they have a Junkrat. That is pretty off meta, whereas Uprising is running a very on meta comp, besides maybe the Mei. Maybe, yeah, the Mei is sort of used, maybe not, but other than that, it's not too meta. I think my biggest thing I would say to Uprising is they should work on adapting, because if they adapted their comp in order to maximize the amount of pressure they could take off of themselves from the Junkrat and the Pharah, get in there quick, take out the Pharah, deal with one thing before they get in, that would be perfect. Right now, what I'm seeing from them is they seem to try and push in without dealing with the biggest threats, and then they get a bunch of angles on them and they just collapse. It seems to happen almost every time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really the name of the game with Overwatch, isn't it, Build? Adapting to the other composition that's being played against you. And I just don't think Uprising are adapting, like you said.
They could be, this team could be individually made of Grandmaster players and top 500 players, but if they're not adapting, they're just going to get pressured.
Now, we're going to get back into things here real quick. really, there's one last attack here for Uprising, and this isn't even to win the game, is it? This is for the draw.
If they can manage to cap this point through some miracle with only one ultimate and, well, now 5 players, then they will only be playing for the draw. But it's looking like that's not going to happen, and Uprising is going to fall to Happy Squids. In the end, excellent performance by Happy Squids. Uprising just couldn't seem to adapt to what was necessary, which is unfortunate, but there's always next time. They can improve and come back and destroy them next time.
Yeah, and of course, play of the game coming from the King, no surprise at all. Their work on the Pharah was absolutely nutty. There was no chance here for Uprising. That Pharah combined with that Junkrat was just bullying them so relentlessly. They didn't even have a chance to do anything about it.
No, it was just complete destruction. 69% kill participation by the King. Absolutely ridiculous. Just a complete wash this game, which...
Yeah, and folks, we are going to head into our halftime break. I promise it will not be as scuffed. I'll actually mute mics this time. So we'll be right back with more Owlet action after the half.
Toodaloo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Owlet tournament here in the Owlet Minors division, where we have the Ryujian Uprising taking on the Happy Squids. We are currently just after our halftime break, where we have the Happy Squids leading the Ryujian Uprising 2-0. Build, how's this match been so far?
So far, it's been pretty one-sided. Happy Squids has been showing an excellent display of force. And will that continue? I think it probably will. Now we're heading into King's Row next, and I'm pretty excited for that. King's Row has always been traditionally a Rein Zarya, Lucio, and then whatever other healer you want. It would like Mercy, Ana, Moira, Baptiste, doesn't matter. Who cares? It used to be mostly Ana back in the day. But anyway, I think we can both agree that basically everybody loves King's Row. It's probably the favorite map of like 80% of the player base. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. I personally love King's Row. It's probably the best map in the game, in my opinion. I mean, just look at, your NA Scrim card for NA Scrim Bingo. What's the free square in the center usually? Playing King's Row. It's just a really popular map.
No, Scrims is late. is the
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's like, that's the one that's on your card, and it's not the center square, but it's kind of like the gimme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you look at that and you go, I'm definitely going to get that one. What line am I going to be able to use that in to win the game? So, definitely a very popular choice in my opinion, and it's also, just one of the I think you can do so much with the map. There's so much you can do creatively and tactically. So what do you think we could possibly see on this map here coming from both these teams, Build?
I'm hoping to see some Reinhardt come out. We've been seeing a lot of Orisa Sigma, but as we know, Reinhardt has been the main go-to on this point. Now, if we could see that again, I think that would be great, because Reinhardt is still good. It's just that when you've got what is it? 2,400 worth of shields between Sigma and Orisa, and Orisa can just put a new one down every 9 seconds. It's a lot to deal with. If you add a Lucio into that mix that allows the Sigma to push up and confirm kills, allows the DPS to work, you can do even more. Now we're about to get into it.
Yeah.
I hope.
And I think that's really why Orisa Sigma has been the meta, because their shields are just that strong, aren't they? There's really no other tank combination that can really get around it. And the other big thing, too, is the poke, right? Like, Orisa and Sigma have crazy poke, don't they?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Compared to Reinhardt, if you were to run Reinhardt Orisa, that would technically be more shield, but Reinhardt just sort of stands there with his shield up, not really doing anything. Unlike Sigma, who has his shield up and is putting out the rock, he's absorbing damage with his biotic grasp, or however you say that, and
Kinetic grasp.
Kinetic grasp, that's what it is. Thank you very much, Piper. I had forgotten. So, yeah, you can just put out so much more damage than a Reinhardt using Fire Strike every 6 seconds. It's just so much more. Getting stuns, getting that damage, getting the flux out to absolutely yeet all the enemies into the air and slam them down is such a powerful ultimate. Way better than Earth Shatter, if you ask me, but we'll see.
Yeah, as much as I love the mean hammer German man, Sigma really is just a better tank right now, and I think synergizes so incredibly well with Orisa that it's really hard to see a reason why you would play any other tank combination right now. But I am a fan of this coming out from Happy Squids, the Rein Zarya. I love it. The thing is that forces you to play really aggressive. Side of here on the Widow, that could be turning out to be a good pick here for Happy Squids.
It could be. It could also just be an opening for the initial picks. But yeah, like you said, Sigma and Orisa have a lot of synergy. Before, the meta was Orisa Hog, and the reason they had a lot of synergy is because you can pull and hook. But when you've got Orisa Sigma, you can pull and you can rock, and Sigma's projectiles are actually explosive. So you can hit everyone that Orisa pulls, you can do tons of damage, get your flux up fast, and just absolutely destroy the enemy team.
Yeah, well, we're going to get into it here. We have the dueling pocket Pharahs in the mix right now. It's really going to come around to which Pharah is going to be able to put in the most hate on the enemy team. We're going to see a good rotation here coming in from Happy Squids through Hotel. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the tank line of Ryujian Uprising. And it looks like it's gonna quickly fall apart here. Flatman getting 2 big kills. Smiley Bob here trying to equalize on the Doomfist, but is gonna go down. This is gonna be a very fast point A cap here for Happy Squids.
Push in. Ryan Zarya, get it done. Uprising using the Sigma Orisa, they just couldn't deal with the pressure. Now, Smiley Bob came in from behind to try and surprise them, but couldn't really do a whole lot to get it done. But let's see, the King already destroying yet again, already has barrage. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tough fight here. Sandpiper actually caught out alone, barely able to escape with their lives. The King almost securing that kill and coming over this house now, looking for the barrage. Gonna find Sandpiper, gonna be able to find Rose as well. That's both the supports down on the side of Ryujin, but it's not gonna be enough at this moment. It looks like it's, well, Happy Squids are just gonna stabilize. Side Dev, though, is going to find a really big pick here, and I think things could, yeah, it's going to go the way of Happy Squids now, with all the picks going their way.
Happy Squid still doesn't have their main tank quite yet, but that shouldn't really be much of an issue, as Uprising is waiting for far more players. It looks like it's going to be a 6v5 in the favor of Squids going into this fight for the claim of point 2.
Yeah, big pull coming out there by Tenacious. Not going to lead to any kills as the King is going to find Smiley Bob on the Doomfist. The King has been raining down death from above this whole time. Blackman going to find his kill there. And this is looking like a pretty good cleanup here from Happy Squids to secure this final point. Blue Lunaris is going to go in here, swinging away as that Reinhardt. Sandpiper going to try to touch, going to get taken out. This has been quite the rolling payload here for Happy Squids.
Absolutely. Happy Squids just having a good time. They're just rolling through the enemy. They haven't even been forced to use that many ults. The King back with another barrage. Can Uprising deal with it? They have 5 ults now. They should be able to have some sort of defense against this. Initiation from Smiley Bob might make this happen.
Yeah, not going to be able to find anything there. Gets caught out. Not going to be able to be healed up. Too much pressure going on, and that is a huge shatter into the barrage from the King. That is going to be 3 big kills here. Make it 4 from the King. Blue Lunaris. Oh my god, he's going to get another.
Just goes to show how important it is to make sure you're alt tracking, to make sure you're ready. Reinhardt just walks forward, presses Q, and gets basically all of them. And the King, of course, has another barrage ready for it, and the destruction is just ridiculous.
That's something you never want to see when you're the other team, and you look up and you see, oh, well, how much time did they finish with? And the 4 minutes starts going up, not down. What an amazing push there from Happy Squids.
Let's see if Uprising can try and turn this around. They are going to need to make it to the end with at least some time left if they want a chance at getting the W. If they get it in overtime, they will have no choice but to play for a draw, if they can even get it to the end in the first place. Let's see if they can take this first point quickly. Now, hopefully they will adapt their comp to try and deal with this absolute onslaught of pressure coming from Happy Squids. And if they can manage to do that, I think they have a shot, but it seems like they're running the same meta comp all over again. They're running the May Reaper, Sigma Orisa, Moira, Lucio, and they don't really seem to be switching off of that. Basically, for the entire match, have they run much else other than that?
No, I have not seen them switch up their tank combinations. And I feel like at this point you have to ask the question where, what gets you more value, Bill? Do you get more value out of playing people on comps that they're comfortable with, heroes they're more comfortable with? Or do you try to force them to flex to play what is the meta? What, like, as a coach or a team captain, what are you going to try to call for your team here?
Well, as a former team captain, you want to be practicing as many different comps as possible. You usually want a good 3, so you can get a good triangle of this counters that, counters that, counters that. And if you have that, you can deal with most things, and you can trust your players to honestly decide minor substitution for DPS that might work better in any given scenario. Like, Overwatch is a very dynamic game based around making swaps, and Uprising doesn't really seem to be doing that. Versus Happy Squids, they switched up their comp specifically because it was King's Row, not for any other reason, and it is working even better for them, honestly.
Yeah, they definitely have been getting a lot of value out of the swaps they've been making here. We're going to see the opening pick going the way of Happy Squids, And it's going to be a bit of a soft reset here coming in from the side of Uprising. But Sandpiper getting picked off there against the wall, not able to wall ride to safety. That's going to be a big stagger coming in here for Happy Squids.
Absolutely. Happy Squids showing a very, very strong defense. I don't know how Uprising can honestly push into this very well. Reaper is going to have to try and make some sort of aggression from the side or behind, but
that's a good way to start.
An excellent way to start.
Yeah, we're gonna see side dev though is gonna find Smiley Bob. Some players going low on the side of Happy Squids, and it's gonna be Blue Lunaris caught out of position, gonna get actually pocketed. He somehow survives that. We're gonna see trades, but Rose Gold Ryan coming in with a big Coalescence kill onto Jonathan the support, gonna get another as well on this side dev. Big work there coming in, and we're gonna see a cap going the way of Uprising.
Finally Uprising. They managed to push through Happy Squid's tough defense. Now, the thing that made him be able to do that, they picked off the Zarya, or was it the Orisa? I forget.
It was the Zarya.
The Zarya got picked off early, and that picking off either one of the tanks puts off so much pressure from the front line, and they can start advancing without getting too hurt.
Yeah, we're gonna see Blue Lunaris there get taken out, gonna be rezzed up just immediately. The King back on this Pharah pick, gonna be able to absolutely wreck house again. Nothing really to counter it. Ultimates on both sides here. This could be anybody's fight.
Honestly, I believe it. Now, the King on fire is gonna be putting in a bunch of pressure here. Uprising, still no heroes that can even deal with it. The shields are getting low, although we got the Sigma ult coming in, but Happy Squids has enough ultimates to deal with it, and they're putting up a perfectly good defense here.
Yeah, the Blizzard here coming out is actually going to be pretty big. It's going to allow a lot of kills to come in there. Smiley Bob getting the 2K, actually a 3K, and that is going to keep the cart rolling here for Uprising. They are not giving up quite yet.
The usage of the Blizzard as soon as Transcendence had ended was very, very good. An excellent use of ultimates and waiting for your counter to actually be dead or used up before you actually engage on it. So Uprising showing a good use of ultimates here to try and stay in the game. Can they keep it up? They only have the supports and the supercharger. This fight...
Oh, what a huge shatter, and the grab follow-up coming in. The King, the beat is not going to be enough. That's going to find two. Smiley Bob finding the consolation prize of Blatman, but it's going to be a quick cleanup here from those ultimates that came out from Happy Squids.
So the thing is about playing around ultimates. You have to be ready, not only to use your ultimates when the time comes, but you have to know what ultimates the enemy has, and you have to know when they're going to use them. You have to know that Reinhardt has Shatter. You have to know that they have Coalescence, they have Transcendence, and you have to play around that. Reinhardt has seemed like Blue Lunaris has been able to walk forward as Reinhardt and get Shatters without too much contention multiple times now, and I'm not sure if they are doing the best job of keeping an eye on when Reinhardt has Shatter and when they're able to use it.
Oh, and that's going to be an unfortunate pick off their side of finding Smiley Bob going for the flank. The King already almost had another barrage. The Transcendence going to be forced out there by the pressure from the King's rockets, but Tenacious is going to fall regardless. These rockets do not fear any healing. They will find you and they will kill you.
Moira ult is excellent at applying pressure. You get a Moira ult, you get some speed, you get whatever, you can just press right in. It's I believe the Coalescence does around 100 heals per second or 75, something in that range. It's pretty ridiculous. It heals everyone within the beam, and it just is so good for aggression. Only 2 ultimates were needed to be used there on the defense in order to stay alive.
Yeah, now here's the concerning thing. Lots of big ultimates here coming online for the side of Happy Squids. The King in a little bit of trouble, is going to be able to get out there after that ball. And the huge shatter coming in, and it's going to be another huge barrage coming in. The King is going to get 2, and that is going to be a very quick team kill coming in. That shatter barrage combo has been absolutely huge. Blue on the Reinhardt has been absolutely popping off.
Again, Uprising unable to stop the Shatters from coming in. Maybe Happy Squid should have started running a Reinhardt sooner, This is working out incredibly well for them. Reinhardt ultimate builds up so incredibly quickly that being able to land shatters this often is incredibly beneficial. We see Psydev actually looking for a cheeky ult from behind here. Let's see what they can do with that. Is this going to be a team fight win just with one Q press?
Oh, we're gonna see very cheeky teleport from him coming in. It's gonna be huge. He's gonna find one, but the kinetic grass actually is gonna equalize things, and Smiley Bob is gonna come out on top. He's gonna have the bigger ultimate. It's gonna be a team wipe for them at the expense of 3 of their ultimates, but they still have the kinetic grass, they have the bongo drum available, and they're gonna have Sandpiper's beat. They have a chance here, Build.
Unfortunately, Psydev's ult got cut off by a shield and Sigma's kinetic grasp. So they were actually all able to stay alive fairly well. Now going into this, they don't actually have, Happy Squids does not have many ults to use. This isn't looking very good for them.
No, but Psydev is going to find the first pick. Smiley Bob, though, is going to find the support of Jonathan, a support for support, an eye for an eye. It's really going to come down to who is going to be able to find the kills here first. Smiley Bob going to be able to find the king without that pocket. It is now going to be falling apart here for the Happy Squids on this part of the defense. It looks like a cleanup is going to be coming in, and yes, they will take second point. They have a chance, but they need to finish with time here.
Yeah, Piper, looking at the clock, they have to win this next fight. Otherwise, it might be over for them, or at least they will have to fight for a draw. Now, they are going to have to optimize their ultimate usage super well here because Happy Squids is coming online with 4 ultimates, and this is not looking so good for Uprising. They do not have much in the way of defensive ults or abilities right now.
And look at the combo that they have, that Barrage Shatter, which has been so deadly. I would not be surprised to see it. The bongo coming here from Tenacious. The king already going to find an opening pick just with the pocket. Brule going to go down low, going to go into that cryogenic freeze. Waiting for the shatter here. Oh no, he's just going to barrage without the shatter. That's going to be huge. That's going to get 3. That's going to be a cleanup. 35 seconds left on the clock. I don't think there's much time left. I don't think that there's a chance that Uprising are going to be able to get the push here.
Uprising, their only option now is to finish in overtime and play for the draw, and even then, that's going to be a tough ask. Happy Squids still has the dragons, and they almost have the grab for that deadly combo. Uprising does have 4 ultimates nearly online. Can they get them up in time to get to the payload? Smiley Bob gets taken out. This is not looking super good for him.
Oh, that's 2 people with ultimates going down here. All the people with ultimates are dying for Uprising. This has not gone well for them at all. Their overtime is ticking away. There's nobody left to touch. That is going to be a map win here for the Happy Squids, and it is going to be a series win for them as well. Taking map number 3. What a performance from them here on Kings Row.
GG to Happy Squids, but also good effort by Uprising. They never gave up, but I do think there are plenty of things they could learn from this game. I do think one of their biggest issues is their adaptability. They don't seem to make too many swaps, unlike Happy Squids. Even though they have been absolutely dominating and destroying, they're still switching up their comp to make sure that they have as best a chance as possible against what Uprising has. And I think Uprising could take a couple notes out of their book and learn a thing or two.
Yeah, really strong performance there coming out from the Happy Squids. You know, kind of really exposing the chinks in the armor of the Ryujian Uprising. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back for our final map, map number 4, which is going to be on Havana. We'll see you then, folks.
See ya.
ladies and gentlemen, we are back with more Owlet Miners action here with the Ryusian Uprising versus the Happy Squids. Happy Squids up in the series 3-0. I'm here in the caster booth with Build, and Build, we are going to see map number 4 here coming out, which is going to be Havana. What do you think we're going to see on this map?
Havana is a map full of extremely long sightlines. On Havana, you want heroes that have no damage fall off, especially for that first point. Heroes like Widowmaker, heroes like Orisa. Sigma is often used, but it can sometimes be a little difficult until you get to that close fight range. Sigma has a hard time building ultimate from far range, and that might end up being an issue. Running Dive could be an option, but in this meta, that's rather difficult. But as far as closing the gap, that is a valid option. Even in this meta, you can still do it. But I do think we're going to see a lot of Widowmaker. We're going to see a lot of Orisa, and probably Sigma to go along with that, as well as maybe some Pharas, and of course, the good old Moira, good old Lucio, and maybe even an Ana thrown in, just for good measure.
Now, we talked about before the break, the fact that Ryusian were not really adapting well to the Happy Squid composition. What adaptations do they need to make here to turn this around and maybe take a map off the Squids here?
So one thing that you may have noticed is that Happy Squids is very, very oppressive with the amount of damage they put on. The amount of spam is ridiculous, right? Ryusian Uprising, they need to find a way to either get rid of the pressure or avoid it altogether. Now, there's a few ways you could do that. You could run a dive comp and just avoid the pressure and go kill who you want to kill. You could run a slow push with a hit scan and try and take out the pressure. You could run a Sombra. That's another way of trying to take out the pressure from behind with some sneaky flanks. There's quite a few options available to them. I haven't seen them take a single one of those options, though. I would really love to see them put in some good strategic effort and try and adapt as best as they can. Now, Uprising actually seems to be running something a little bit different this time, which is good to see. They're changing up their comp. We've got Smiley Bob on the Hanzo. We have got a Baptiste and an Ana, as well as an Ashe. So this is going to be a little bit different. We'll see if it works out for them. But the King on the Pharah again. Will Bruli be able to take out the Pharah? Will Sidev destroy Bruli?
That's the thing. Sidev on that Widow is going to put a lot of very oppressive pressure on Bruli. I don't know if Brule is going to be able to use this Ashe to the full potential.
That's very true. Now, here we go, getting started. The King is going to be applying tons of pressure. Now, Happy Squids has opted to go with a slow push comp, trying to push the payload. Now, Uprising is going to have to contest that at some point. They may have some issues, as Ana is likely to be very susceptible to the Pharah and to the Widowmaker as soon as they start to contest, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Brule gonna start off by taking a direct rocket, going very low there. The King already being a very oppressive force. Smiley Bob on a bit of a flank angle here. Gonna go low, gonna be forced to retreat off it. So far, both teams have been posturing, and a lot of free space has been given here to the Happy Squids. But Smiley Bob with a good opening pick here onto Sidev.
Honestly, Uprising is giving up a lot of space, and maybe they lack the confidence after losing 3 times in a row, but I think they could use to push in, be aggressive. You have the advantage. Take it. Claim that space for your own, and do not let the enemies control you. You must control them. Now, Pharah gets taken out. This might actually be huge for them to win this fight.
Yeah, but Sidev coming in big. He's gonna get 2. He's gonna get 3. Going absolutely massive here. Gonna make it a solid 4. Going for the tactical crouching as well. What a pop-off performance from Sidev there. And that's just so demoralizing, isn't it? When the DPS player who's been, I don't want to say, not as good, but definitely a lot quieter than the King, all of a sudden pops off when they have the chance to. That's just demoralizing. The King coming in on the Doomfist here, gonna find a pick onto Brule, deciding, yeah, this second point, not so hot for Pharas.
Yeah, fire on the second point can be a bit of an issue. There's a lot of cover to use, but the amount of vertical height that's available is incredibly limited. Now, Jonathan going for the res manages to get it off. Now, Happy Squids can actually go in with 6 and with walls up. Let's see how they can deal with this. If Uprising can manage to keep their heals up, they're taking a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, but the Chromatic Flux here from Yui grabs a lot of them. It's going to take them very low. The Dragon's coming out as well. That's going to put a lot of pressure. Trades, however, going both ways, but Yui is going to try to make it more equal for his team. But Yui's actually going to go down here. That is not ideal. The trades are going back and forth. Jonathan, though, with the big res onto Blackman, that is going to swing the fight probably here in the favor of Happy Squids. Unless anybody else can do something about it.
No, Happy Squids are looking very, very strong here. I don't think Uprising will have much of a chance to recontest. It looks like they're just going to give it up and they play for point 3. Now, one thing everyone should know about point 3 is there's this one spot where Widowmaker usually sits on defense that allows you to see basically the entire cart path as the enemy approaches. And not running a Widowmaker here on defense, I think, puts them at a pretty big disadvantage because the amount of poke pressure you can put on from that one spot as Widowmaker is absolutely ridiculous. Plus, there's no contention for Psydev, who's just observing the entire battlefield and getting pick after pick this game.
I would just like to say that Psydev just had the cheekiest freaking angle in the world and found that kill. It was absolutely nasty to watch that happen. Oh! Blue is going to get stunned out of his shatter by the accretion coming in there from Yui. That is a great counter. However, the kill feed is still looking incredibly red. Oh! The King going to boop Tenacious off the map here. This is going to end a very fast push here, most likely coming in from Happy Squids. Uprising still don't have an answer here.
Uprising, they have 4 ultimates coming up, but Happy Squids has so much pressure and so many players on the field. But it looks like the ultimates might come out and make the difference.
Yeah, we're going to see definitely some big ultimates here coming out. Going to try to make the difference, and I think they might have just done that at the expense of almost all the ultimates here on the side of Uprising. They have managed to hold them off here.
It took a Nano, it took a Bobbin, it took a Dragons, and it also took a Supercharger. But they managed to hold off Happy Squids. Now, that kind of ultimate usage is very, very expensive. But fortunately for them, Happy Squids do not have any ultimates of their own. Gravitic Flux is going to be the next one coming up.
The King doesn't need any ultimates.
Absolutely.
The
King is just good.
100%. The King is just looking for these kills. Gonna absolutely bully the enemy team here. Getting some really, really big... Oh, that was absolutely dirty onto Sandpiper. Gonna get some huge combos there on the side of Uprising. Gonna find the big picks, and a near 3-minute time bank here is gonna be absolutely massive for Happy Squids.
The King with no ult, basically no ult charge to start that fight, almost has ultimate by the end of that fight. The King was just uncontested that entire fight. Uprising needs to find some way to deal with this if they want to have a shot. Now, 2 minutes and 47 seconds. If you've ever played Havana on ladder, and I'm sure many of you have, you know that having any sort of time bank on Havana is really, really, really difficult to deal with if you are not the one that has it. So I hope Uprising can have a good attack here. Let's see if they can deal with the Doomfist, if they can deal with the Fire, if they can deal with the Sigma. And hopefully they can put up a much stronger attack than we've seen from them thus far, but it's going to be difficult. The comp's coming in. It looks like a Bastion from the King on defense, which is going to be a bit of a change-up from what we're normally seeing. What do you think of that, Piper?
I like the Bastion here. I think the Bastion on the defense is going to be useful. I think that it shows that the King is just not a Pharah one-trick, right? We've seen the Doomfist, and if we see the Bastion pop off here as well, I don't think it's a bad pick. I think Bastion definitely has a lot of viability here, and we're going to see how it's going to pan out for them.
Absolutely. So we've got Uprising running a Diva for some reason. Now, maybe they saw the Bastion, and that's why they're going with the D.Va. But also, Happy Squids, I'm really wondering why they decided to go for the Zenyatta Mercy. The amount of heals on this comp is going to be incredibly limited. It might be their undoing.
Well, you know, who needs heals if you're just gonna melt the tank line of the other team, which is what the King just did. Sidef chipping in as well, not wanting all the glory to go to the King. That's a good way to open things up here.
The King isn't a selfish person. He wants to just spread it around a little bit. Share the love with everybody.
Now,
and that seems to be the way it's going.
I am not a really big fan of D.Va and an Orisa. I feel like they're two tanks that don't really synergize well together. What do you think the reasoning is for that? The King's gonna pick up a few kills here, as they are currently without shields on the point.
I think they are doing it to try and deal with the Bastion, because how else do you stop the, 300 DPS that Bastion just piles out at you? Unrelenting damage from Bastion. How are you supposed to deal with it? I think they're trying to deal with D.Va.
That's not good.
Mercy gets taken off Sandpiper. That is an absolutely critical.
What was Yui doing there? Why did Yui just like stagger? What is going on, Build? Please explain.
I don't know. See,
is this the reverse pirate ship we're seeing?
I would have to watch that back, but we're seeing Uprising group up all together in this corner, try and get themselves all in a group. Again, the D.Va, it seems like a very, very odd choice. They wall the Bastion up. Can they take him out? I'm not sure if they can. They all are dying before they can even get enough damage on Bastion, before they can even freeze Bastion. They're all just dead.
And it's not even the Bastion that's getting the kills. Speak to Ryan and Sidef popping off there with some big kills. What do you even do at that point, you know?
I don't even know, Piper. This is a bit tough. If I were in their shoes, I would want to go something like Sombra, Orisa, and then maybe a Sigma too, and get the Sombra to hack them, or go dive with Sombra, or go hack fist and speed around. There's a lot of options, but they seem to be going with their default comp plus the D.Va and the McCree.
Yeah, and we're gonna see the tank mode coming out here from the King. Gonna find one, it's gonna find two. Going absolutely fake here for the team. Gonna find a third as well on a Tenacious with just the sentry mode. Also gonna clean up Yui here. Big work coming in from the King.
It's just the King doing the King things. Ruling the kingdom and making the subjects loyal. That's what it's all about. And right now, Uprising is very loyal to the King. They are not giving him too much of a trouble, which, honestly, I think they should stage a revolution. I don't know about you, Piper, but they should, would you say that they should have an Uprising and stage a revolution against the King?
Well, I think that an Uprising is gonna really be difficult here with just a minute of time remaining. I feel like the King and his compatriots are firmly in control here. We're gonna see a huge gravitic flux coming out here. That's gonna be absolutely massive. The King gonna clean up Smiley Bob as well. The tank line exposed away. The King actually gonna drop behind, gonna be put in a little bit of trouble here by that D.Va bomb. Not gonna find anything though, and the King is gonna be able to just melt through Yui. That's gonna be a pretty good cleanup here, and 30 seconds. I don't think any communist uprisings are in the works at this time.
Oh, it doesn't need to be communist. The King just needs to be dethroned, and the people need to reclaim the power of the King. But the King might have too much power to be taken down at this point. Honestly, at 10 seconds, what kind of uprising can you stage in 10 seconds? I don't know. The King is going to sit on his throne for a good time longer, it seems. With the Bastion all coming out, if they can take out the Moira, I think this is going to be it.
Oh, that was absolutely dirty. The King there with the Bastion ult actually canceled the Mei ult. The Blizzard coming in from Brûlée. Absolutely devastating stuff here for the Uprising. They are in overtime now. Their lives and the overtime wick slowly ticking away. We are going to see the very clean 4-0 coming out from the Happy Squids. From map number 1, it was never in doubt. Happy Squids are going to take the series.
Happy Squids have showed their abilities, they have showed their power, and they have showed us what their King can do, and what's a good team without a good leader. So I think this is well deserved. Excellent shots from Sidef here on this play of the game. Nice job. Very, very good. But yeah, very well-deserved win by Happy Squids. Uprising, I think they could learn to adapt a little bit more and try and run some less meta comps. You don't need to be meta all the time, and I think that would do them some good. I think if I had to give one tip to them, just practice more comps and scrims, and then that way you can implement them in matches more often.
Yeah, definitely big things there coming out from the King and the rest of the side of Happy Squids getting the 4-0. Before you head out, though, we are going to have a quick post-match interview here. We have Speak to Ryan, the support player for Happy Squids, going to be joining us here for our post-game interview. Speak, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
We are doing fantastic. Of course, we just witnessed your team get the very nice 4-0 series sweep against Ryujin Uprising. How's the team feeling right now?
Yeah, so we're feeling really, really good. I think there's a huge amount of stuff that we wanted to improve on from our preseason because we went 0-2 in the preseason, and we really buckled down, tried to face some realities, talk with our coaches, kind of humble ourselves a little bit, and really focus on what to improve. And I think it's showing in our game so far. So.
Yeah, it's definitely seemed like it's really paid off, and we would just like to say your DPS duo of the King and Side of today were absolutely popping off, finding a lot of work there on the Pharah and the Junkrat, also the Widow from Side of as well. Do you think that your team, really focuses on using heroes like the Pharah to kind of exploit the weaknesses of other teams that maybe don't have as strong a hit scan player? Was that kind of your game plan, or do you just have really good DPS players who can flex onto pretty much whatever your team needs?
Yeah, so I think, first of all, every player in our team is insanely talented in their own right. I think our DPS players are great, but what's really great is the ability for us to come together and think about what's going on in the match every single moment. We realized that when we tried the pharmacy at first, we weren't necessarily planning on sticking with the whole way through, but they had absolutely no effective counter to it. So we utilized that to our advantage. Just really used good overall team-wide game sense to figure out what was the best strategy to kind of get that 4-0. So.
Yeah, and another big thing for me for teams that are successful is how a tank line and a support line works together, because really, without a good tank and support line that synergize well together, it's really hard for the tanks to be able to create space and have trust in those supports. So do you think that you have a really good tank and support line that work really well together, and do you think that that's going to be able to help elevate you to match victories even when, say, a DPS player is having an off day, because that does unfortunately happen to the best of us?
Yeah, no, so just slight background on the team. There was a couple of them at the beginning who were pre-made, but a lot of us came from the draft or just other places then we hadn't really played together before. So a lot of our focus in scrims has been building synergy between just our players in general. Obviously that does include our tank line and supports, just learning to trust each other, even simple things just like learning each other's voices and knowing who to listen to. Who listen to the shot caller, listen to the target caller, and then trust in the decisions that are being made instead of not trusting them and kind of walking away. And I think we've really had a really fast growth pace at this point in those aspects. So to answer your question of tank line, support line, how are we feeling? We're feeling really good. We're not only also sticking with just 2 tanks and 2 supports. We have a team of 11 players that we're switching people out and in depending on map, depending on kind of how we're feeling on an off day or on day, and it's working really well for us, and I think it makes us a little bit unpredictable too.
Yeah, now Bill, do you have any questions for Speak before we let him go?
How often do you guys scrim?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on availability, but again, because our team size is 11 and we're not just having 6 players and 4 people who never play, we are constantly subbing people in and out. We're able to scrim more than I think some teams may be able to in this type of more or less casual league. So we try to get in at very least 1 scrim a week, but if we're able to, we usually get in 2 scrims in addition to our games, as well as an additional VOD review if we can. Now, obviously that's optimistic, but that's what we like to aim for.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Definitely not missing scrims because you always have enough subs is very, very important. I know the struggles of having to cancel scrims sometimes 2 days in a row because people can't show up. That's definitely a bit of an issue. So it's obvious that the king took the spotlight today. And is that a usual event, or is that a little bit special today?
So I will say that I think our DPS players played really well today. Everyone had a really good time. We've been in really good spirits, just kind of feeling our groove go together a little bit. I won't say that one specific player is taking the spotlight because all of us are making huge impacts in our own way. There's a lot of things that are a little bit hard just for the casters and stream to catch just because of how much is going on. But really, if you're able to listen to the comms, you can hear how everyone's pulling their own weight. They're making the right calls. They're making the right observations. It's not really one person popping off, I would say. So I think everyone's kind of pulling their own weight.
Okay, cool. So as far as team comps, it's obvious that Uprising didn't exactly run that many different team comps. For the first 3 games, they basically ran the same exact thing. So, how, like, as far as team comps, do you make sure to practice a well-rounded bunch of team comps?
Yeah, I think we try to change what compositions we're playing map by map and also really just player by player because again we have a lot of different people. Some people are stronger on certain heroes than others. So again, it helps keep us unpredictable, but also it doesn't pigeonhole us in a certain meta. I think the team played really valiant today. Region Uprising, they gave us a run for our money, even though the scoreline was 4-0. I don't think it was as close as the scoreline says. We definitely had to do a lot of focus, but part of why I think we were able to take that 4-0 is because they didn't flex outside of that main composition you were discussing a lot. So I think overall, all teams, not just us or Region or anyone, all teams will really benefit from just experimenting a little bit in scrims, trying to figure out things that maybe other teams aren't thinking about, find things that work not only just in the meta, but specifically for your players. There might be things that you guys are really good at that aren't meta that will work really, really well and help drive your synergy. I'm not going to say what, but there are some strategies that we've found on Happy Squids that are not at all meta. Some we have shown, some we haven't yet that we're practicing and working on because they just play to our players' strengths. So
Okay, back to you, Piper. I guess that's all I have.
Well, thank you very much, Speak, for joining us and giving us a little bit of an insight into your team life, although not leaking any strats so we don't get the juicy take. But, however, thank you so much for joining us here in the booth. And once again, folks, that has been some Owlet Miners action here. Match day number 2 of week 1.
Can I do one quick shout out before we end it?
Of course.
So I want to give a huge shout out to Panda and their whole team. They've been huge supporters of the Happy Squids since day 1, regardless of when that day 1 is. So King's Throw and Panda, shout out to you guys. Thanks for making us your unofficial academy team.
All right, there we go. Thank you so much for joining us once again in the booth. Once again, here in our Miners action, we've had the Ryusian Uprising quelled and crushed by the Happy Squids, coming off with the 4-0 victory for their side. Big work going from them. Good win for them. Once again, I have been your producer and caster, Piper, and with me I've had Build. Build, any parting words to everybody before we sign off?
If you want to be good, you gotta practice.
Well, all right then. Keeping it real generic, Good work, though. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning into the stream. Look forward to seeing you again for the next one, and have a good evening.